Thank you, Presiding Officer. I am very grateful for the opportunity to speak in this debate. And it's a debate that takes place at a time of significant change in attitudes towards mental health. Here in Scotland, all of the parties elected to this Parliament, we are done so on manifesto commitments to improve provision and quality of mental health services. Now, while we may differ on approach, we are united in challenging all stigma associated with mental health. We are proud to support our third sector partners, and collectively we have played a part in pushing mental health to the top of the political agenda. This is something to be welcome and demonstrates what can be achieved when we can speak with a common voice. And I do believe, actually, despite much of what has been said so far in the debate, there is much common ground. And just as we all recognise the priorities of increasing awareness, tackling stigma, and achieving parity between mental and physical health, we all recognise the challenges to making this vision a reality. And I'm sure this is something that all members fully appreciate. Now, we have all, I am sure, supported constituents and their families who have had difficulties in accessing timely treatment. I certainly know how frustrating and time-consuming it can be in achieving a successful outcome for constituents in such cases. So I understand clearly why frustration and anger informs the language used by some to discuss mental health services in this debate. And I understand why this leads to demands for immediate action from the government. However, we do all know and appreciate that there is no shortcut to achieving our shared vision for mental health services. The welcome increase in awareness of mental health in Scotland has seen a commensurate increase in demand. And as all members appreciate, this situation is not unique to Scotland. Our neighbours in other parts of the United Kingdom are experiencing the same challenges. Indeed, my Commonwealth cousins in Canada, Australia and New Zealand are facing the same rising demand, resulting in political debates similar to the one we are having here. Now, the fact that other countries near and far are tackling the same problems as we are here in Scotland is, of course, no comfort to a young person and their family who have had a rejected CAMHS referral or have received one only to find themselves on a long waiting list. However, I do believe it is vitally important to understand that Scotland is not alone in having to adapt and develop its health services to meet new needs and demands. Something is true for mental health as it is for the demands arising from an ageing population. And just as we need that perspective internationally, we require it when we look at Scotland internally. As members are well aware of, with mental health services and all public services, there is performance variation within Scotland. That is a consequence of having 32 local authorities, 31 integration boards and 14 territorial health boards. Clearly, our aim must be to minimise variation and work towards equity in service provision. Achieving this will, however, take time. Now, I can say as a member for Renfrewshire South, Greater Glasgow and Clyde's CAMHS waiting time for the last quarter, 88.7% of people were seen within 18 weeks. And bordering Ayrshire and Arran, 98.3%. But I know that's not the same in other parts of the country, and we must, of course, work to achieve that parity. But as I said, this will take time. But what this is going to be about, if we just take one example with CAMHS, is we want a situation where people are not getting to Tier 3 and Tier 4. And that is about having the strong community provision there. And in Scotland, we've taken a lead. We all support integration, but we know the benefits will take time to feed through. And just as it will take time to feed through,
you must close, please.
Well, and that I will close, Presiding Officer. But I would say that I think there is common ground, and if we work constructively together, we can achieve the vision that we all share.